Hello, this is Papa B reading, and I'm continuing to read in chapter 2 of the story The Magician's Nephew, which is found in the Complete Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis, published by HarperCollins Publishers. And the scene is in Uncle Andrew's room. Polly has disappeared by the trickery of Uncle Andrew, and now Diggory, very upset, is speaking to his uncle. And his uncle now says, "I hope," said Uncle Andrew presently in a very high and mighty voice, just as if he were a perfect uncle who had given him a handsome tip and some good advice. "I hope, Diggory, you are not given to showing the white feather. I should be very sorry to think that anyone in our family had not enough honor and chivalry to go to the aid of a lady in distress." "Oh, shut up," said Diggory. "If you had any honor at all, you'd be going yourself. But I know you won't. All right? I see I've got to do it, but you are a beast. I suppose you planned the whole thing so that she'd go without knowing it, and then I'd have to go after her." "Of course," said Uncle Andrew with a hateful smile. "Very well, I'll go. But there's one thing I really mean to say first. I didn't believe in magic till today. I see now it's real. Well, if it is, I suppose all the old fairy tales are more or less true. And you're simply a wicked, cruel magician, like the ones in the stories. Well, I've never read a story in which people of that sort weren't paid out in the end, and I bet you will be, and serve you right." Of all the things that Diggory had said, this was the first that really went home. Uncle Andrew started, and there came over his face a look of such horror that, beast though he was, you could almost feel sorry for him. But a second later he smoothed it all away and said with a rather forced laugh, "Well, I suppose that's the natural thing for a child to think, brought up among women as you have been. Old wives' tales, huh? I don't think you need to worry about my danger, Diggory. Wouldn't it be better about the danger of your little friend? She's been gone some time. If there are any dangers over there, well, it would be a pity to arrive a moment too late." "A lot you care," said Diggory fiercely. "But I'm sick of this jaw. Excuse me. What have I got to do?" "You really must learn to control that temper of yours, my boy," said Uncle Andrew coolly. "Of course, you'll grow up to be just like your Aunt Letty. Now, attend to me." He got up, put on a pair of gloves, and walked over to the tray that contained the rings. "They only work," he said, "if you're actually touching your skin. Wearing gloves, I can pick them up like this and nothing happens. If you carried one in your pocket, nothing would happen. But of course, you'd have to be careful not to put your hand in your pocket and touch it by accident. The moment you touch a yellow ring, you vanish out of this world. When you are in the other place, I expect, of course this hasn't been tested yet, but I expect that the moment you touch a green ring, you'll vanish out of that world, and I expect reappear in this. Now, I take these two greens and drop them into your right hand pocket. Remember very carefully which pocket the greens are in. G for green and R for right. GR, you see? Which are the first two letters of green. One for you and the one for the little girl. And now, you pick up a little yellow one for yourself. I should put it on your finger. If I were you, there'll be less chance of dropping it." Diggory had almost picked up the yellow ring when he suddenly checked himself. "Look here," he said. "What about Mother? Supposing she asks where I am?" "The sooner you go, the sooner you'll be back," said Uncle Andrew cheerfully. "But you don't really know whether I can get back." Uncle Andrew shrugged his shoulders, walked across to the door, unlocked it, and threw it open and said, "Oh, very well, then. Just as you please. Go down and have your dinner. Leave the little girl to be eaten by wild animals, or drowned or starved in the other world, or lost there for good, if that's what you prefer. It's all one to me. Perhaps before tea time you'd better drop in on Mrs. Plummer and explain that she'll never see her daughter again because you were afraid to put on the ring." "By gum," said Diggory, "don't I just wish I was big enough to punch your head?" Then he buttoned up his coat, took a deep breath, and picked up the ring, and he thought then, as he always thought afterward too, that he could not decently have done anything else. And that's the end of Chapter 2. This is Papa B reading. Please come back, and I'll read to you again. Goodbye.